Hi everybody, as Olivia mentioned, we're here from Mercer Marsh Benefits to talk to you about your new life insurance. So it's a great benefit that we've put in place for you guys, and that the business has been working hard behind the scenes for you to gain this benefit. So we're just going to run through it. It's pretty casual, so hopefully I'll cover the points off that you want to know about, and outside of that we can answer questions if they're of a personal nature afterwards. So who are we? So Mercer Marsh Benefits, we're the broker, so we work between Port of Tauranga and Quality Marshalling and the insurer. So that's for this new life insurance that we're putting in place. We are actually also do your Southern Cross, so there's a couple of little bits at the end around that, but primarily today is about your new life insurance and the details of how that works for you as individuals. So primarily, often we say to people, when you think of insurance, what do you think of? People will very quickly say house, car. Not often do we think about ourselves and our life insurance and the value that has, on our families and our wider whānaus, should something happen to us as individuals. I think the stats the other day, a colleague told me at work, I think 80% of people insure their cars, 30% of people insure their lives. So, it's quite an interesting stat that we often just don't stop and think about ourselves. So we've covered a little bit about this. So we're the insurance broker. We specialise in life insurance. We're the people risk piece of our business. We do life insurance, income protection, critical illness and medical policies. We work also should you have a claim at terminal illness, which will cover how that comes into place. And life insurance, we also help your families across that piece. So we come into play at claim time as well. As we say, when the rubber hits the road as such. So the new life insurance policy, we're going to cover the details on this now. Hopefully you've seen the communications about it so far. So it's for all permanent employees working 15 hours or more per week. Someone just asked me previously, how do I know I'm insured? Have I automatically got the cover? I've got pre-existing conditions. So as long as you're at work on the 1st of August when the policy went live, the cover at work, performing your usual duties and the cover is automatically in place. So the insurer is also with Life AIA is the insurer that underwrites that piece. So the group covers also for your new staff that may join your team, so as you as team leaders or managers might want to inform them, it's automatically in place of day one. So once they're employed, as long as also they're at work on the first day of employment, then that is automatically in place for them. You don't need to sign up or do anything extra for those insurances. And as we mentioned, because we've got a go live situation, as long as you're at work on the 1st of August performing your usual duties. The cover is through to the age of 65 or you cease employment. The other things, if you are joining the plan, you need to be maximum entry age is also age 64. We've covered that about automatically being included from day one of employment. So we're just going to cover some of the details about the policy. So it is a lump sum benefit. It is tax-free benefit. It is primarily when you do pass away, but the other piece of it, so is also if you're terminally diagnosed as terminally ill. So what we mean by that is if a medical professional will document that you are likely to live less than 12 months. Some occasions we see it occasionally, people live way beyond that, and that's fantastic. But if it's a scenario of a medical professional saying likely to live less than 12 months, then you can lodge your terminal illness claim, and it's basically an early life payment. You can't claim that and then also claim when you pass away. So it's just you can get that payment earlier and do as you wish with it. It's a tax-free payment. The other benefit of the plan is there is a $15,000 funeral benefit. Should you pass away suddenly, this payment can go through to the funeral directors, it can go through to your partner, or whatever you wish, or whatever's needed at the time. It is deducted off your final life insurance payout. The $15,000 is a quick payment. It's not, it doesn't have to go through the full processes of processing and needing relevant documentation for the full process. So the benefit design is a 2 times salary benefit. So we get the salary data from the portal Qualified Marshalling, and we get that annually, but it's also, the salary is also, should you put in a claim, or should there be a claim for you, that it's the salary at the time of the event. So if you are to drop hours or change jobs up or down, that will also affect your benefit amount at the time of claim. So another point to note, and often people get pens and papers out at this point, is the death claims are paid out to your estate. So the difference with a retail life insurance policy versus a group policy like this is that the claim gets paid out to your estate. So this is why the importance of a will is in place, to make sure the benefit is paid in accordance with your wishes. So if wills aren't in place, the letters of administration need to be applied for before these payments will be made to your estate, and that can take 6 to 12 months. In fact, I've even had one that took longer. So it's quite hard for us because we want to get the money out, the insurer wants to get the money out, but we can't release it until we know that those things have been put in place. So my suggestion to you is do make sure you have a will in place, so that everything's in order should the time come. The automatic acceptance level is 750. So what that means is you automatically gets covered up to that level. So if you're fortunate enough to be paid over 375,000, you would need to apply for the additional cover. Otherwise, the cover is automatically in place up to that 750,000. The cease age for the insurance is age 65. So when you do turn 65 years of age, the policy does cease under the portal Quality Marshalling. The other benefit of it is you can take this policy with you. So I've put here 45 days, you actually do have 60, but it's good to remember because it's one of those things that people often forget about. But you can take this policy with you with no underwriting. You do have to declare whether you're a smoker or not, and if you do hazardous sports. But other than that, primarily it's just an insurance you can take with you with nil underwriting. So it's a great benefit to be able to also take with you. You need to have completed that process of a continuation option up to the age of 64. So once you turn 65, that piece also ceases under the policy. Is there any questions you're happy to answer at the end? Yep. Okay. I'll keep going. In line with the insurance, there's also a product called AIA MyCare. So the life insurance is just yourselves. Part of it's also AIA MyCare, which goes to you, your children, your parents, and your in-laws. So it's a benefit across all of your family. So how AIA MyCare works, I'll just bring up another document here. So it's a number of different situations you can talk to AIA MyCare about. You might want an expert medical opinion. So New Zealand's quite a small market in regards to medical professionals. You might have a medical condition you want to get a second opinion of. A situation, the example I give, my colleague needed back surgery, wasn't happy about it, and went and registered her case through AIA MyCare. They came back with a global expert around her condition and said, just hold off the surgery for now, do this, this and this. And 10 years later, she still hasn't had that back surgery. So it just gives you some different examples. Angela, I know, has used it. She had long COVID, long COVID, and it just enabled her to look at some different health options and what she could expect. And then they move you on, if it works for you in the situation, onto a nutrition consultant or a fitness and recovery consultant. This is all free of charge for you, your family, your parents and your in-laws. They also have a mental health navigator, which they guarantee someone will talk to you within 48 hours. They can't prescribe medication, but they'll talk to the individual. They'll talk to you about what you should be doing in your own individual cases. They have a mental health clinician that's either based out of Australia or New Zealand that will talk to you as well. For the mental health navigator, you do need to be over 18 years of age to use that part of the cover. The other one you can do is ask a GP. It's just a very simple ask a question through a GP. I think the response will come back within 12 hours. You might just have a very simple thing there to go through and ask. So they set you up. It's very easy to sign up, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Then you speak to a case manager. They will then align you and tell you the next processes. They come back with a full report, And with that report, you can take it to your doctor. I have heard people say, gosh, wow, how did you get hold of this? Because of what the information they come back with and the recommendations and the knowledge that's in those reports. They'll also loop back with you afterwards, run through the report, and if needs be, I know with some COVID, long COVID, they'll check in with you and see how you're going and follow up to make sure you've got the resolution that you need. So just some stats here. So there's about 50,000 doctors that goes through to globally that's on board with the AIA MyCare. It's also known as TeleDoc, and about 450 different subspecialties of specialists. So, you know, it allows you a lot more depth in who you can potentially talk to globally. So this is just some stats on what they can do. So in 15% of cases they've modified the diagnosis in medical cases, physical conditions, and modified treatment plans in about 36% of cases. The mental health outcomes, it's even bigger. 60% of cases they modify the diagnosis, and 84% they've modified treatment plans. So you can see how they're adding value to medical situations that you might need further advice on. The next slide is just about how you sign up. As I said, you just initiate it through the website, and then they'll set up an appointment, and you go to talk to a case manager about your situation, and then they'll take you through, and whether it be the mental health navigator, the expert medical opinion, or ask a GP. So we're just going to talk to some frequently asked questions. What do I need to do in the case of a claim? So you should notify your family or whānau or your next of kin that you do have these insurances in place. Should unfortunately you do pass away, then that they would need to reach out to HR in the first instance as the policy owner, and they would instigate the claim. If you're terminally ill, you would need to just notify HR, and we would then start the claim process, and we'd need you to complete some forms and medical forms to do the terminal diagnosis. And the payment, as we said, would be paid to the deceased member's estate. So this is why we talked about earlier the importance of a will. I have life insurance already. Someone else I think has asked us this today as well. You can have multiple life insurances, 2, 3, whatever you like. You have different values. They all get paid out should you pass. But do not cancel. If you have a personal policy, don't cancel one without speaking to a registered financial advisor, because you cannot just put them back in place once they're cancelled. Someone was saying, is there any medical conditions or any exclusions? No, the insurer basically has your name and your date of birth and your gender. So that is all we are asking for. So there's no exclusions on any of these policies. And that's why it's really important as a group policy. It's an amazing benefit for a lot of people to have. I mean, even myself, as I've aged, you accrue certain things along the way in medical sense. So it's really good to have these insurances with no exclusions whatsoever. Should you want to know about more insurances, we do have a team of personal risk advisors around New Zealand that can help you with your family or personal insurances. You might have a partner that wants to talk about these insurances as well. They can do life insurance, trauma, income, mortgage protection, so additional insurances alongside of these insurances. Are you happy to ask questions at the end? I'll keep going.
Increase, so it's covered twice the salary.
Yeah.
Can we ask for it to be increased as well?
You can not through the group scheme, but through these people you can. Yeah. So they can help you. You might want your partner to be insured. They can help with additional covers over and beyond. And this is where you need someone to look at your own personal situation and see where your levels are. It might not be enough because you've got multiple houses, whatever you have, or debt, you know. So that's why you need to talk to someone. But sure, you can. You would need to apply for that, and you would be underwritten. So when you're underwritten, there's potential, and this is the great benefit of a group scheme. There is no exclusions, there's no extra loadings on your policy. But in the retail space, and that is retail rates that you'd be applying for, there can be those situations of exclusions or uplifted premiums and things. Any other question on the life side of things, or I'm happy to answer them at the end of their personal questions? No?